Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome to another Sentinel vlog. It's finally time. I've been talking about doing this and putting it off, but now I have everything I need to do my rankings for the Masters. In other words, my top 10 favorite Masters. A couple of things before we begin. Everything you're about to see is my opinion. That's why it's the top 10 favorite Masters, not the top 10 best. I will also only be doing canon masters, so you will not see Jonathan Pryce or Mark Gatiss on this list. Oh, I shouldn't say that. With the events of the New Adventures of Bernice Summerfield, the Mark Gatiss master is now canon, but long story. Point is, he's not on this list. I'm only doing the 10 incarnations of the master of this universe. There we go. So, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So at number 10, we have John Sim, my least favorite master. Oh boy, where to start? Well, I guess there's only really one thing. I don't buy John Sim as the master. He's got no threat to him. He's got, he's not frightening. He's not intimidating in any way. It's like, he's pretty much just crazy. And there are a few masters further up on the list that do the crazy shtick as well, but they do it so much better. The only positive I guess I can give Sim is that, and Council of Geeks pointed this out, go check out his channel, he's amazing. The only positive I can give the Sim Master is in every succeeding appearance, in every continuing appearance, that's a better word, he does get better. So the Sound of Drums, Last of the Time Lords is his worst appearance. He's a little better in The End of Time, and then he's better in World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls, which is ironic because he is pretty much useless in that story. And at number 9, Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts has only had one appearance as the Master so far in the Doctor Who TV movie from the 90s. I say so far because he's actually coming back in the Diary of River Song Series 5, which I'm really excited for. I mean, what can you say about Eric Roberts that, as the Master, that hasn't already been said? He plays the role two different ways, and they're so disjointed. For the first 3/4 of the movie, he basically plays it as a Terminator knockoff, and then for the last portion of the movie, for the finale, he's really over the top and just chewing scenery and campy. That is one of the reasons why I like Roberts over Sim, because he makes the movie enjoyable for all the wrong reasons. It's like, I always say this, but watching the Eric Roberts Master is like watching Tommy Wiseau. And I feel that a lot of Eric Roberts' shortcomings as the Master are due to a lack of direction. I mean, look at his filmography. He's a great actor. I feel like if he was directed better, he could have been great, which is also why I'm excited for Diary of River Song Series 5. But as it stands, just what we got so far, yeah, like I said, it's good for all the wrong reasons. Anthony Ainley takes the number 8 spot. Ainley, in my summation, is a lot like Colin Baker's tenure as the Sixth Doctor on TV. There was the way he wanted to do it, but he was a victim of studio mandate, basically. He's like, I want to play the role as this suave, charming, charismatic Bond villain. And, the studio pretty much said no. The studio basically made him be a Saturday morning cartoon villain. And I think at this point, too, Ainley suffered because the Master was just so overused by this point. Like, he showed up a lot in the Third Doctor era. He showed up twice, and technically 3 times in the Fourth Doctor era. And then after that, the Master made an appearance each season until the Seventh Doctor's era, when he only showed up once. And, it's sort of like the Daleks now. He was really becoming overused. And I think that kind of weakened him too. When you have a character designed to always lose, if he keeps showing up, he's not going to be threatening. Off the top of my head, I can only think of 3 instances where Ainley was a truly good, threatening master. Logopolis, the technical debut story of the Ainley Master. Survival, the 7th Doctor story he appeared in, and the final story of Classic Who, and the 90s video game Destiny of the Doctors. I feel if the Ainley Master was handled better, and if Ainley got to play the role the way he wanted to, he probably would have been higher on this list. And at number 7, one I expect to get a lot of flack for placing so low, Roger Delgado. The original Master, and to many people, the best. And that, I think, is why I have an issue with Roger Delgado. He's a lot like the 2nd Doctor to me. His fans are really vocal, so before I finally watched stories with the Delgado Master, people just kept talking about how amazing he was and how awesome he was, and by the time I finally watched him, it's just like, this doesn't live up to the expectations that were set. Don't get me wrong, he's still great. I see why many people love him. It's just, for me personally, he was overhyped. I am watching more Delgado Master stories, seeing if my opinion changes on him though, so let's hope. And at number 7, the first of 2 new incarnations of the Master created exclusively for Big Finish, so far, James Dreyfus. James Dreyfus has so far only appeared in 1 story. He's appeared in the Destination Wars in the First Doctor Adventures. In fact, let me see if I can see the Destination Wars. However, he has, in the making of feature for the First Doctor Adventures, the producers and even Dreyfus said that he has been confirmed to appear in more stories that we haven't heard anything else about yet. It's been 2 years, Big Finish. Where's the Dreyfus Master? But in all seriousness, I really liked this incarnation of the Master. One of the things I've noticed with the Master is that the performance seems to be, I'm trying to figure out the weight to ratio, like 15% body, 85% voice. Like, one of the things I seem to notice more than anything else is the voice makes the Master. Like, they seem to be more concerned with how he sounds than how he moves, and Dreyfus's voice is amazing. It's this very dark, sort of croaky, and he has that sort of chess player vibe to him. He holds all the cards, he controls the entire game board, and I really like that too, because my favorite Master also does that. At number 5, Missy, Michelle Gomez. In my opinion, Michelle Gomez is the best actor in New Who to have played the Master. I'll get to Derek Jacobi in a second. I do have issues, and I'll get to those too. What I love about Gomez is that, like John Sim, she is doing the crazy shtick, but she's so much better at it. And there are times when she comes across as threatening. Like, in my least favorite episode in all of Doctor Who, The Witch is Familiar, I can't believe I'm crediting it, I hate that episode so much. But anyway, there's this scene where, in order to infiltrate the Dalek stronghold, Missy has convinced Clara to wear a Dalek casing. And then, after the Doctor does his thing, she tries to convince the Doctor that the Dalek, that Clara, is the Dalek that killed her. It's a whole thing. It was a 2-part episode. But, yeah, no, that was a great scene. And in true Master fashion, when the Doctor figures things out, she gets the last word in. There are also several moments in Series 8 where she was really intimidating, really threatening, and the crazy shtick she did, as opposed to Sim, it actually made her unpredictable. And honestly, seeing more of her is one of the reasons why I'm excited for Big Finish's newest spin-off, coming next year, I believe, Missy. I knew there was something I was forgetting. One of the things I also like about Missy in particular is that, in their backstories, the Doctor and the Master were former friends. And, after Roger Delgado and John Pertwee, I feel like that was always forgotten. It was always, the Master is the villain of the story. One of the things I really like about Gomez is, compared to all the other Masters after Delgado and before her, is that I really felt like she brought that aspect of their relationship back. My biggest critique about Gomez, however, is that, every new actor who has played the Master, sort of like the Doctor, it feels like the Master. It feels like they've inherited the legacy of the character and the actors who came before them. And Gomez feels dissociated from the rest of them. It's kind of perfect, equal pros, equal cons, so the fact that she made the middle of the list is kind of perfect. Now, number 4, the second of the two Big Finish exclusive Masters, Alex McQueen. Alex McQueen, I haven't heard everything he's been in. I know he showed up in Dark Eyes, which, if I'm being honest, I've pretty much given up on the Eighth Doctor stuff. Not that I don't like the Eighth Doctor or anything, it's just that everything the Eighth Doctor has done is always serialized, so it's like, oh, to listen to this story, you need to know what happened in this previous story, and so on. So it's made collecting his stuff kind of tedious. He's also shown up in Unit Dominion, which I haven't listened yet, and a few years ago, he did the Two Masters trilogy. He showed up in Vampire of the Mind with Colin Baker, and The Two Masters with Sylvester McCoy and Jeffrey Beavers. To me, Alex McQueen is the John Sim Master fully realized. He's kind of a combination of what the new series Master is and what the classic series Master is, and he plays it so well. Like Gomez, like John Sim, he does the crazy shtick, but he is one of the best Masters to do it. One of the things I also like about McQueen, in comparison to the others, is that, in my opinion, he is probably the most sadistic incarnation of the Master. Like, a lot of times when the Master kills someone, they look at it, it's like, oh, you're expendable, your time is up. But the McQueen Master just revels in it. He gets so much joy out of the mayhem he causes, more so than any other Master. And, to see a Master who, really not before or since McQueen has gone that far, it's kind of cool. And I hope we get more stories with him in the future. It would have been cool to see him with the 12th Doctor. More for the thick of it reunion than anything else. Getting down to the nitty-gritty with number 3, Sir Derek Jacobi. Sir Derek Jacobi briefly appeared as the Master in the 10th Doctor story Utopia before regenerating into John Sim. About last year, I think it was, might have been 2 years ago, I have to double check. I think it was last year though, he recently returned to Big Finish. Big Finish establishing that the Derek Jacobi Master was the Master who fought in the Time War, subsequently called the War Master. And what an amazing Master he is. First of all, Derek Jacobi is the reason I took so long to do this video. I wanted to listen to the War Master first because I feel just going off of Utopia wasn't enough. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, some of these other Masters, like James Dreyfus and Eric Roberts, only made one appearance. Why is Derek Jacobi different? because in Utopia, Derek Jacobi didn't really play the Master. He played Professor Yana. And then the twist in the final minutes of the story happened, revealing he was the Master. And to just use one of those, like 1 to 2 minutes, and say, oh, Derek Jacobi is a great Master, it's like watching Only Twice Upon a Time and saying Jodie Whittaker is an amazing Doctor. Spoilers, if you haven't seen... Spoilers, she actually is really good. But yeah, so I wanted to get the War Master and listen to it, and I am so glad I did, because Jacobi is amazing. Like, you know, he seems to be playing it similarly to the vein of Roger Delgado or James Dreyfus, sort of suave, charismatic, but always frightening. Like, everything he says has this undertone of menace to it that none of the Masters really have. You know, the Master has a penchant for making disguises. In some of the stories he's been in, even though we know he's the Master, Jacobi's performance really lulls you into buying into it, you know? Which hasn't really been done since Ainley. Granted, Ainley always wore elaborate costumes that hid him really well, but, you know, Jacobi, his performance really buys you, really sells you into believing he is doing what he's saying he's doing. But not always. There's just enough left to leave you unsettled. Number 2, Geoffrey Beevers. Geoffrey Beevers originally played the Master in the Fourth Doctor's penultimate story, The Keeper of Traken, at the end of which he possessed the body of Anthony Ainley, giving us the Ainley Master. Since then, he has played the Master in Big Finish's audios and still plays him to this day. Later in October, we're actually getting a story from Geoffrey Beevers called I Am the Master. Now, earlier when I talked about the Master being, you know, 15% body, 85% voice, Beevers is the epitome of that. Like, his voice is just so amazing. Every time he talks, I can't help but think of a snake hissing, you know? It's like, he speaks very softly, but he always has this menace to him. And shoot, I forgot everything I was going to say about him. You know, great actor, great performances. He's always threatening. He's always in top form, even if the stories he's in are not. And shoot, why can't I think about everything? Why can't I think about something to say for every Master except this one? You know, if you want a sample of the Beevers Master at his absolute best, because the Keeper of Traken kind of doesn't utilize him to his best, listen to Mastermind from the Companion Chronicles. That is a phenomenal story. And some people might find this an odd choice, but what can I say? He's my favorite Master. Number 1, Peter Pratt from The Deadly Assassin. So I'll get the huge, glaring negative out of the way. The mask he had to wear. It looks hokey and fake, and it basically hides all his facial expressions. There's no way around that. However, that segues perfectly into the pros. Because that mask covers his face entirely, Pratt basically had to carry and sell this performance with his voice, which he does beautifully. Like, I've said this before, even though I can... Not on camera, mind you, I've said this before. Even though I can buy into other Masters being threatening and frightening, Peter Pratt's Master is the only one that scares me. And, like, that's just completely on performance alone. Earlier I talked about the whole puppet master type of character. I love villains like that, sort of like Emperor Palpatine from the Star Wars trilogy, you know. That type of villain that doesn't come into the light. He just sits in the shadows on the sideline, pulling the strings. You know, if you play a game of chess with him, you may think you're playing the game, but in reality, he's manipulating you into moving the way he wants you to. And, you know, The Deadly Assassin is my favorite Fourth Doctor story. It's my favorite Robert Holmes story, and it might possibly be my favorite story in all of Classic Who. And all of that is because of this incarnation of the Master. Alright, that has been my rankings for the Master. What did you think? Who is your favorite Master? Who is your least favorite? Start a conversation in the comments. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and then click the little bell in the corner next to subscribe to get notifications when I upload, because subscribe stopped doing that for some reason. I'll see you next time, most likely with my review of Series 11, Episode 2. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and see ya!